Today we'll study pituitary gland, hypothalamic pituitary hormones and their relevant functions. Pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is divided into anterior pituitary, which is also known as adenohypophysis, and posterior pituitary, which is also known as neurohypophysis. Anterior pituitary is derived from the oral ectoderm, also known as Rathke's pouch. Anterior pituitary secretes FSH, LH, ACTH and TSH and prolactin and growth hormone. Now see, I have divided all these together and separated prolactin and growth hormone from them because all these act by the same mechanism, CAMP mechanism, whereas prolactin and growth hormone act by tyrosine kinase mechanism, same as insulin. Prolactin and growth hormones are produced from the cells which are stained pink in the hematoxylin and eosinophilic slide. As a result, their cells are known as acidophils. So prolactin and growth hormone are produced from the acidophils. Whereas FSH, LH, ACTH and TSH, they are produced from the basophilic cells. So these are the acidophils and these are not. They have same structure in their alpha subunit, but their beta subunit is different. So these hormones are differentiated by their beta subunit, whereas alpha subunit is same. These act by CAMP and these act by tyrosine kinase mechanism. One thing to be kept in mind that melanocyte stimulating hormone is produced from the intermediate lobe of the pituitary. Let's come to the posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary, which is also known as neurohypophysis, as it is developed from the neuroectoderm. So, neurohypophysis. Posterior pituitary का function कोई hormone बनाना नहीं है, बल्कि it stores and releases these hormones which are antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin. Now, antidiuretic hormone acts on two receptors, V2 and V1. On V2, it acts by CAMP mechanism, whereas on V1, it acts by IP3 and DAG, diacylglycerol, IP3 and DAG mechanism. Similarly, oxytocin also acts by IP3 and DAG mechanism. These both hormones are made in the supraoptic, ADH and paraventricular, oxytocin, of the hypothalamus and then are transported to the posterior pituitary via neurohypophysis. Their cell bodies are in the hypothalamus and their nerve endings are in the posterior pituitary. So, oxytocin and ADH are produced in the hypothalamus, in the supraoptic and paraventricular nuclei, ADH in the supraoptic and oxytocin in the paraventricular nuclei, and then they are transported to the posterior pituitary from where they are released. Let's come to the hypothalamic pituitary hormones. These are the few hormones and these are their actions on the pituitary hormones. Corticotropin releasing hormone, it acts to increase ACTH from anterior pituitary, MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone, and beta endorphin, melanocyte stimulating hormone produced from the intermediate lobe of pituitary. Now dopamine. Dopamine decreases the prolactin as well as thyroid stimulating hormone production from anterior pituitary. Dopamine decreases, DOPA decreases, prolactin and TSH. Growth hormone releasing hormone, as its name suggests, it increases the growth hormone secretion. Gonadotropin releasing hormone released from the anterior pituitary, it increases the FSH and LH. Prolactin, it in a negative feedback mechanism inhibits the growth of gonadotrophin releasing hormone, which further inhibits the FSH and LH. We will discuss in detail in the coming slides about how it does it and how physiologically it acts on the body. Somatostatin, it decreases the growth hormone, it decreases the thyroid stimulating hormone, as well as it decreases insulin. Thyrotropin releasing hormone, as its name suggests, it increases the TSH as well as prolactin. Now till now we have studied that dopamine decreases prolactin, whereas TRH increases the prolactin. Okay, so you should know the basic functions and their positive or negative feedback of these hormones on these hormones. Let's come to the prolactin. Prolactin, as I said, is produced from the acidophils of the anterior pituitary, and it is structurally homologous to the growth hormone. Both prolactin and growth hormone act by same mechanism, that is tyrosine kinase. What is the function of prolactin? Prolactin causes milk production in the breast, and it inhibits ovulation and spermatogenesis in males by inhibiting gonadotropin releasing hormone synthesis. When the mother is lactating, it means she has milk production, she has increased prolactin. Prolactin will cause decreased gonadotropin releasing hormone, and gonadotropin releasing hormone decrease will lead to the decrease of follicular stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, which are functioning in the ovulation in females and spermatogenesis in males. That is the result. That is why there is no conception in the females who are lactating, because of increased prolactin, which causes decreased GnRH, which causes decreased FSH and LH. So no ovulation, no conception. Now, how prolactin is regulated? As I said, prolactin is released from anterior pituitary and is tonically inhibited by dopamine. Main inhibitor is dopamine. By tonically, we mean in a pulsatile fashion. Let's come to this diagram. This is anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary, and hypothalamus. Now, we will discuss in detail this diagram. Whenever there is a sight or cry of the baby, the higher cortical centers of the mother send negative signals to the hypothalamus to decrease the dopamine. As we already know, dopamine causes negative feedback on the prolactin, that is, increased dopamine causes decreased prolactin. So when signals are sent to the hypothalamus to decrease the dopamine, due to the decrease of dopamine, there will be increased prolactin, and due to the increased prolactin, there will be increased breast milk production. Let's come to the other things. As we already know, thyrotropin releasing hormone has a positive effect on the prolactin. So whenever there is primary hypothyroidism, decreased T3 and T4, there will be increase of the TRH. Because of less negative feedback on the TRH, it will be increased. When the TRH is increased, there will be increased prolactin, and as a result, galactorrhea in the primary hypothyroidism. So this is the mechanism. There is galactorrhea in the primary hypothyroidism. Similarly, in the case of antipsychotic medication, there is decreased dopamine. The side effect of this medication is decreased dopamine. Due to the decreased dopamine, there is less negative feedback on the anterior pituitary, more prolactin release, and galactorrhea. So we studied there is galactorrhea in primary hypothyroidism, antipsychotic medication, and renal failure. Now what happens in the renal failure? In renal failure, the normal produced prolactin in the body is not excreted in the urine. When it is not excreted in the urine, there is increased prolactin concentration in the body, leading to the galactorrhea. So three conditions: renal failure, antipsychotic medication, and hypothyroidism. Primary hypothyroidism lead to increased prolactin and galactorrhea. Now, what happens in pregnancy? In pregnancy, there is increased concentration of estrogen, which causes positive feedback action on the anterior pituitary, leading to the increased prolactin and breast milk production. Prolactin causes negative feedback action on the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So in pregnancy, when there is increased estrogen, there is increased prolactin. As a result, due to the negative mechanism, there is decreased gonadotropin releasing hormone. As a result, decreased FSH and decreased LH. So no ovulation and less spermatogenesis will lead to no conception in pregnancy. Let's come to the growth hormone. Growth hormone is also known as somatotropin. It is secreted from the acidophils of the anterior pituitary, and its main function is linear growth of a person, means it causes the growth of the bones. It causes the maturation of chondrocytes into the osteocytes, and it also increases the muscle mass. Now how it is done? It is released from the anterior pituitary. It acts on the liver to produce the insulin-like growth factor 1 or stromatomedin C, which cause the increased muscle mass and the linear growth. Another effect of the growth hormone is it increases the insulin resistance, leading to the hyperglycemia. So it has a diabetogenic effect. Growth hormone also causes increased protein synthesis and increased amino acid uptake. Now, if we compare the function of the growth hormone with the insulin, insulin is an anabolic like the growth hormone. So, insulin also causes increased protein synthesis. Growth hormone also causes increased protein synthesis. Insulin prevents the lipolysis, whereas growth hormone activates the lipolysis. So, this is the difference between the two. I'll discuss the difference in the function of the growth hormone, insulin, thyroid hormone, and the cortisol in detail in the coming lectures. How the growth hormone is regulated. Now this is very important as it comes time and again in the exam. Growth hormone concentration increases in the deep sleep, in the hypoglycemia, in the stress or exercise, and puberty. Learn it by heart these 4 points: deep sleep, exercise, puberty or stress. Growth hormone secretion is inhibited by glucose and somatostatin. So increased glucose, decreased growth hormone. Decreased glucose, increased glucose hormone, growth hormone. This is very important. Let's come to this diagram. This is anterior pituitary, this is posterior pituitary and hypothalamus. Growth hormone is regulated by growth hormone releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. Now sleep, hypoglycemia, puberty, stress or exercise cause a positive effect on the growth hormone releasing hormone and increase its release. Due to its increased release, growth hormone is released from the anterior pituitary. Unlike this mechanism, aging, obesity and increased glucose decrease the growth hormone release hormone secretion and exert negative feedback on the anterior pituitary, decreasing the growth hormone. Now, let's come to the growth hormone functions. As we said, it increases the muscle mass, increases the linear growth of the bone. Its functions are increased amino acid uptake, increased protein synthesis, increased DNA and RNA synthesis, increased chondroitin sulfate and collagen, and increased number and size of the cells. So this is important. Increased number and size of the cell. Moreover, it decreases the glucose uptake and increases the lipolysis. Now let's come to this insulin-like growth factor 1. It exerts negative feedback on the anterior pituitary as well as hypothalamus, causing decreased growth hormone release hormone secretion and growth hormone secretion. Now growth hormone itself acts negative feedback action on itself, anterior pituitary and on the hypothalamus. So this diagram should be kept in mind while solving the questions in part 1 exam. Let's come to the antidiuretic hormones. As I said earlier, antidiuretic hormone hypothalamus में बनता है, supraoptic nuclei of the hypothalamus. It is then stored and released from the posterior pituitary, which is neurohypophysin, which is derived from the neuroectoderm. Now, what are the functions of the antidiuretic hormone? एंटीडायूरेटिक हार्मोन के दो फंक्शन हैं. एक फंक्शन सीरम ऑस्मोलैरिटी को रेगुलेट करना, दूसरा फंक्शन ब्लड प्रेशर को रेगुलेट करना. जो मेन फंक्शन इसका है वो सीरम ऑस्मोलैरिटी को रेगुलेट करना है, और ये वो V2 रिसेप्टर के थ्रू करता है. V2 receptor is present on the collecting duct and distal convoluted tubule of the nephron of the kidney, and this V1 receptor is present on the small blood vessels. It causes the contraction of the blood vessels through V1 receptor, whereas it causes the addition of aquaporins in the DCT and the collecting tubule via V2 receptor. We should know कि V2 receptor CAMP के थ्रू वर्क कर रहा है, जबकि V1 receptor IP3 के मैकेनिज्म के थ्रू वर्क कर रहा है. अब हाइपोथैलेमस के अंदर ऑस्मो रिसेप्टर मौजूद होते हैं जो कि सीरम ऑस्मोलैरिटी को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं. जब भी सीरम ऑस्मोलैरिटी ज़्यादा होगी ये रिसेप्टर्स एक्टिवेट हो जाएंगे, एंटीडायूरेटिक हार्मोन ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. इन द कमिंग पॉइंट्स जो कि इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं MCQs के रिलेटेड टू दिस टॉपिक, वी विल डिस्कस विच इज़ द मोस्ट पोटेंट स्टिमुलस फॉर द एंटीडायूरेटिक हार्मोन, दैट इज़ nausea, and what are the negative stimulants of the antidiuretic hormone. So we will leave that discussion to those points. The excess of antidiuretic hormone occurs in syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone secretion, and in the deficiency of antidiuretic hormone, diabetes insipidus occurs. We will discuss this in detail. Now, important point regarding this is ADH level is decreased in diabetes insipidus and normal or increased in nephrogenic diabetes. We will discuss it. Now, what is diabetes insipidus? As I said, it is the deficiency or ineffectiveness of the ADH hormone. It is characterized by intense thirst. जब सारा water यूरिन में लॉस हो जाएगा बिकॉज ऑफ डिक्रीज ADH, देयर विल बी थर्स्ट. एज ए सेड, वाटर यूरिन में लॉस हो रहा है, देयर इज पोलीयूरिया, एंड देयर इज इनएबिलिटी टू कंसंट्रेट ड्यू टू द लैक ऑफ ADH और फेलियर ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स. अब इन सेंट्रल और नेफ्रोजेनिक में फ़र्क क्या है? सेंट्रल डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस में ADH हार्मोन बन ही नहीं रहा. इट मे बी ड्यू टू पिट्यूटरी ट्यूमर, एन ऑटो इम्यून प्रोसेस, ट्रॉमा, surgery or hypokalemia. Whereas in nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, in nephrogenic हार्मोन बॉडी में मौजूद है नॉर्मल या ज़्यादा अमाउंट में, बट वो रिसेप्टर्स पे V2 रिसेप्टर्स की म्यूटेशन की वजह से वो अपना काम नहीं कर पा रहा. एज अ रिजल्ट देयर इज़ नेफ्रोजेनिक डायबिटीज इंसिपिडस. अब ये किस कंडीशन में होती है? इट कैन बी ड्यू टू म्यूटेशन और सेकेंडरी टू हाइपरकैल्सीमिया. There are also some research stating nephrogenic diabetes insipidus occurs due to lithium as well. Lithium hypercalcemia, and mutation in the V2 receptor. Now, in central and nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, the difference is there is decreased ADH in central diabetes insipidus, whereas increased or normal levels in the ADH. Urine specific gravity is almost the same, serum osmolarity is almost the same, but the difference between the two is decreased ADH and increased ADH. There is no receptor dysfunction in the central diabetes insipidus, there is receptor dysfunction in the nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, and in both there is hyperosmotic volume contraction. सारा water urine में loss हो गया है, there will be hyperosmolar serum and there is volume contraction. Now how to diagnose the two? There is a water deprivation test in which a person is prevented from drinking water, बंदे को पानी नहीं पीने दिया जाता for some hours, and then his urine is monitored. If there is dilute urine, अब उस dilute urine अगर वो आ रहा है, इसका मतलब है कि उस बंदे में ADH हार्मोन या तो प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो रहा या प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है तो सही से एक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा, देयर इज़ डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस. अगर कंसनट्रेटेड यूरिन आ रहा है एक प्यासे बंदे में, दैट मीन्स इट्स नॉर्मल. लेकिन अगर एक बंदा प्यासा है एंड स्टिल ही इज सिक्रेटिंग द डाइल्यूट यूरिन, इट मीन्स उसका ADH हार्मोन काम नहीं कर रहा. नाउ इट मीन्स ये कंफर्म हो गया कि ही हैज़ डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस. अब हम उसको एक desmopressin acetate is a substance which is analog of ADH, we give him. अगर वो देने से his urine becomes concentrated, it means कि उसके अंदर इस हार्मोन की कमी थी और बाहर से देने से वो ठीक हो गया, it means it's central diabetes insipidus. लेकिन अगर desmopressin acetate देने के बावजूद he is secreting the dilute urine, then it means कि उसमें nephrogenic diabetes insipidus है. Let's summarize this. In a water deprivation test, a person is said not to drink water for few hours. अब उस बंदे ने पानी नहीं पिया है और अगर उसका यूरिन फिर भी पानी ना पीने के बावजूद डाइल्यूट आ रहा है, इसका मतलब है ही इज़ हैविंग डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस. हम उसको अब बाहर से हार्मोन देंगे डेस्मोप्रेसिन एसिटेट. डेस्मोप्रेसिन देने के बावजूद अगर तो यूरिन डाइल्यूट ही आ रहा है, इट मीन्स उसके रिसेप्टर्स ठीक काम नहीं कर रहे, देयर इज़ नेफ्रोजेनिक डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस. लेकिन अगर डेस्मोप्रेसिन एसिटेट देने से उसका यूरिन कंसनट्रेट हो गया है, इसका मतलब है उसमें हार्मोन की कमी थी, उसमें सेंट्रल डायबिटीज़ इंसिपिडस थी. Let's come to the important points of the hypothalamus and pituitary. As we said, hypothalamus and pituitary are involved in the secretion of ADH and oxytocin, which both arise in the hypothalamus and are released from the posterior pituitary. Regarding the short life, the shortest half-life is of the gonadotrophin releasing hormone. It is of 2 to 4 minutes. There is another important point that gonadotrophin releasing hormone is the only hormone which is not inhibited even in the case of the carcinoma. And at puberty, there is increased gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Now, as we said, the prolactin inhibits the gonadotrophin releasing hormone. Similarly, melatonin also inhibits gonadotrophin releasing hormone. If there is a patient with the moon phases, excessive fat deposition at chest and abdomen, there is raised ACTH, Cushing disease. So, moon phases, excessive fat deposition at chest and abdomen, Cushing disease, raised ACTH. We will discuss it in the other topic. Now, what is the difference between the Cushing disease and Cushing syndrome? If there is raised ACTH, it's Cushing disease. If the ACTH is not raised but the cortisol is raised, it's Cushing syndrome. Very important. Which hormones regulate the lactation? These are the OPA hormones. oxytocin, prolactin, and ACTH. This comes time and again in the exam. OPA hormones. OPA hormones, OPA, are involved in the regulation of the lactation. Now, prolactin does not include tyrosine derivative. Important. There is another important concept about the deep sleep. Deep sleep is mediated by serotonin, and deep sleep leads to the secretion of melatonin. So, deep sleep is regulated by serotonin, it is mediated by serotonin, and it causes the release of melatonin. Melatonin also increased in dark. Now, let us come and talk about the ADH. ADH is inhibited by alcohol, whereas its most potent stimulus is nausea. ADH is inhibited by alcohol and its most potent stimulus is nausea. Now, if there is a patient with multiple myeloma and he has polyuria, confusion, and urine osmolarity is 310, we will think of nephrogenic diabetes insipidus because of hypercalcemia. Hypercalcemia causes nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. In syndrome of inappropriate ADH secretion, there is increased water retention. Due to increased water retention, there is hypoosmolar overhydration. ADH is also inhibited by 5% dextrose water. So, most potent stimulus is nausea and is inhibited by alcohol and 5% dextrose water. If there is a young girl with a secretion from the breast with abundant eosinophilic cells in the pituitary, what does it say? Prolactinoma. As we said, these are produced by acidophils, which are eosinophilic in nature. If there is a young boy with increased appetite, weight gain, sleep issues, and genital hypoplasia, it's craniopharyngioma, decreasing all the anterior pituitary hormones, craniopharyngioma. In case of the pituitary adenoma, there is bitemporal hemianopsia. Now, in pregnancy, all the hormones are increased except the growth hormone. This is important. In pregnancy, all the hormones are increased except growth hormone. Growth hormone is also immunostimulant till the age of puberty. Growth hormone synthesis and release is also stimulated by arginine. These are the few points which have been collected because they are repeated time and again in the part 1 exam. If there is a male whose shoe size is increasing, there are bony abnormalities and there is prognathism. Prognathism का मतलब है उसका mandible protrude कर जाना, उसका mandible का जो chin है उसकी वो बड़ी हो जाना. So it occurs in the growth hormone releasing hormone and growth hormone increase. Acromegaly. अगर तो एक पर्सन बड़ी एज का है, बच्चा नहीं है और उसमें ग्रोथ हार्मोन ज़्यादा हो गया है, he will be having acromegaly. But if it occurs in the child, there is gigantism. Reason is कि उसकी बोनी एपिफिसिस क्लोज हो चुकी होती है in the case of adult, तो उसको बोन की लीनियर ग्रोथ नहीं होती बल्कि वो बोन्स अपने साइज में वाइड होने लग जाती हैं. सो बट इन केस ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन, लीनियर ग्रोथ उनकी अभी एपिफिजियल क्लोजर नहीं हुआ होता, देयर इज इंक्रीज लीनियर ग्रोथ the length of the child also increases, causing gigantism. As I said earlier, in the conversion of chondrocyte to the osteocyte, growth hormone acts more comprehensively than the thyroxine. Growth hormone also increases during the sleep. Which other hormones increases during the deep sleep? That's melanocyte stimulating hormone. Cells are able to regenerate due to growth hormone. जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि growth hormone causes the increase in the size as well as number of the cells. This is about the ADH function, which causes the smooth muscle contraction via V1 mechanism. V1 is acting on V1 receptor, whereas it acts on the kidneys by the V2 receptor. Osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus respond to the osmolarity and increase or decrease the concentration of the ADH. And most wanted stimulator for the ADH is nausea. Thank you.